Hello, my guys. Welcome to another episode of the Mikeway Kicks. Yes, this is week 10 of previews for the English Premier League and maybe a touch of the Spanish League as well. Let's get into it as quick as possible. Last week, we got two correct scores, and let's hope this week to be another nice day on the office, or at the office rather. We'll be having a very big match this weekend, which is Chelsea against Tottenham Hotspur. We're going to preview that as well and give predictions in the remaining 9 games in the Premier League, and also the Barcelona game that will be coming up this weekend against LJ and Real Madrid. Now let's get to the first one: Brighton against Leeds United. That will be the first game for the weekend, and Brighton in the last couple of games have been have been very inconsistent. After the win at Chelsea, they went at home, they pick up a point as well. The last game against Manchester United, they lost that game 4-2. That's how they've been. Very, very inconsistent. Now they are playing against a Leeds side who has been very impressive, this season as well. They've really not been that bad. They sit 15th on the log this season currently, while Brighton sits 13th on the log. So the gap has not been too much for them. Now, looking at this game, right? In the last 5 games between these two sides, it has been on the favor of Brighton. Brighton has won 2 and drawn 3. They've not lost to Leeds United in the last 5 games, and they've always kept a clean sheet. Always kept a clean sheet against Leeds United. So that one, I think, will count. These two sides in their last 5 games in all competitions. All competitions now. Brighton win 2, same thing as Leeds. Brighton draw 1, same thing as Leeds. Brighton lost 2, same thing as Leeds. So when it comes to the basis of form, they are on an equal part on both sides. Brighton has really performed very well at home this season. They've defeated the likes of Manchester City. They drew with Spurs, and they won against Newcastle after drawing their first game against Fulham as well. So it's been very, very good at home for them. They've not lost at home. That's a very good record. While for Leeds United, it's been the opposite. The big loss away at Arsenal, 5-0. They lost at Fulham. They won. The only game they won away from home was at Wolves. I think the last 2 games or so at Wolves, which was a very shambolic one, and they went away also to lose against Burnley as well. So that will count. Now, I think this Brighton game against Leeds, I think it's going to be a win. I don't see a draw happening. I see a win, and the win is for Brighton. So my prediction for this game is, first of all, there's going to be an over 1.5 in this match. I see Brighton win, and it's going to be Brighton 2 and Leeds United 0. Now to the next game, Burnley against Arsenal. Now, when it comes to form for these two sides, Arsenal are way ahead when it comes to form between these two sides. Any team that wants to play Arsenal now has to be very, very careful, in the sense that they know quite all right that they will win, that they will lose. Arsenal has this mentality, this winning mentality, and keeping this clean sheet. They've gone on the 5-game bounce, winning all through without conceding a goal. They are the only team in the Premier League this season, or in the whole of Europe this season, to go the whole of October without conceding a goal and scoring for fun as well. So that also counts as well. Arsenal is in the better vein of form when it comes to these two teams currently meeting. Burnley sits 16th on the log, Arsenal sits first on the log. So that has something to tell. So definitely everything is pointing towards Arsenal picking up victory against Burnley. All right. In the last 5 games between these two sides, Arsenal has not lost to Burnley. They've only drawn 2 and won 3 games against Burnley. So I think that is a perfect record against Burnley. Arsenal have been keeping clean sheets over and over again this season. And when it comes to these two sides, in the last 4 games, Arsenal has only conceded 1 goal. They've been keeping clean sheet back to back against Burnley. So that is a very, very good record against this Burnley side. But let's not forget, Burnley are a very good side at home. It took a lot for Liverpool to beat them at home. it took a lot, and they've been winning games. Also, let's not forget, for the fact that they came from the relegation doesn't mean they are not winning games. They are winning games at home, but against Arsenal, it's going to be a very difficult game. They won against Sunderland at home. They lost against Liverpool at home. In fact, the Liverpool game was the only game they've lost at home. The other games they've been picking up points, against Forest they pick up a draw, against Leeds United they beat Leeds United. So you could see that yes, this team has the capability of winning games at home as well. Why for Liverpool? Why for rather Arsenal? After the away loss at Liverpool, they've not lost away from home. In fact, they've been keeping clean sheets. Yeah, they won the first game against Manchester United. Let's not forget. And also, they've been doing well in the last couple of games. In fact, their last game away from home was at Fulham, in which they won 1-0. Set piece is another thing that's been working for Arsenal this season. And Arsenal, they've had tough games away from home. Manchester United, in which they won, Liverpool, in which they lost, Newcastle, in which they won, Fulham, which is the London derby, in which they won as well. So Arsenal has been doing well away from home this season. And against Burnley, I think Arsenal is going to win. So I'm not going to waste too much time on this one. So my prediction for this game, I say Arsenal scoring another set piece. Burnley 0, Arsenal 2. I think Arsenal will keep another clean sheet here. So the next game again is a London derby. Crystal Palace against Brentford. Crystal Palace sits 10th on the log. Brentford sits 11th on the log. So you could see that that's a close one currently. Now, when it comes to these two sides in their last 5 games against each other, Brentford has won 2, draw 2, and Crystal Palace have only won 1. Crystal Palace won their last game against Liverpool, which is a very good one. Brentford won their last game against Liverpool. So these two teams have dealt with Liverpool in their last games. So if we want to go use the Liverpool games or the Liverpool fixture, I don't think it's going to work here because Liverpool are on a very bad run of form. All right. Now, Crystal Palace are going to be playing at home. It's a London derby, let's not forget. And it's a very tough one. These two teams are close to each other. In the last few games, it's been even. Crystal Palace have won 1. Brentford have won 1 in the last 4 games, and they've drawn 2. So it is very, very close. Very, very close. Crystal Palace want to get back into winning ways after losing their last game against Arsenal away from home. While Brentford pick up good result against Liverpool. Before then, they pick up an away result against West Ham. Let's not forget, which is a very good result. Thiago is in a very good run of form. Very, very good run of form. Mikeway Kicks long throw for Brentford has been very, very helpful for the team. They've been scoring set piece as well. Henderson in midfield has been solid. Norgard, the Danish midfielder, I've forgotten his name, has been very good in their midfield as well. Shad also has been good in attack. So they have very good players who has been doing so well. But if we want to go by the last game for Crystal Palace, the Senegalese striker or winger has been very, very good for them, for Crystal Palace. He scored 2 goals in their last game, I guess. So now, going by this form, Brentford has won 4 out of their last 5 games in all competition. Have lost 1. While for Crystal Palace, they've only picked up 1 win in their last 5 games in all competition and have lost 3 times. But I don't think that will count in this game because this is a London derby first of all. So it's going to be very, very tough. After picking up Crystal Palace at home, draw against Nottingham Forest, draw against Sunderland, they won against Liverpool, another draw, against Bournemouth. So they've not lost at home, first of all. So take your mind away from the fact that Brentford is going to win. Because they also did not have the best of away forms. They lost against Nottingham Forest, they lost against Sunderland, they lost against Fulham, they only won against West Ham, which is a bad team this season. So you can't put your money on Brentford winning. So my prediction for this game is going to be very, very, very close. And I have two predictions. One is I see a 2-1 victory for Crystal Palace. Something tells me. But let's be realistic. The only game Crystal Palace have won at home was against Liverpool. And you know how Crystal Palace are against Liverpool. Liverpool are Crystal Palace babies. So my prediction for this game is going to be a draw. Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 1. Now let's move to the next game. Fulham against Wolves. Fulham. Fulham sits 17th on the log, while Wolves sits 20th on the log. For Wolves, this season has been very, very poor. In fact, they have been shambolic this season. They sit 20th on the log. But their last game against Chelsea, they were good. You know, they were very, very good. Arokodare scored, they scored 3 goals against Chelsea. So that is a very good record, in their League Cup game. While for Fulham, they lost their last home game against Arsenal, and they went away and they lost against Newcastle. So they've picked up out of 6 in their last 2 games. They've picked up only 1 point. No, out of 6 in their last 2 games, they've not picked up a point rather. Now, in the Fulham last 5 games, they've only won 1 and they've lost 4. Bad run of form. Bad run of form. While for Wolves, they're even in a better run of form. Okay, yes. While for Wolves, rather, they've picked up 2 points in their last 5 games. 2 draws and 3 losses. While for Fulham, pick up 1. So just 1 point difference for these two sides. Now, when it comes to Wolves going away from home, they've been poor. Just 1 point away from home. And that was against Spurs. You know how Spurs are very inconsistent. Fulham are also very inconsistent. The day you predict Fulham to win, they might lose. The way you predict Fulham to lose, they might win. But when it comes to the home form for Fulham, they've only lost against Arsenal. So that counts for me. I think Fulham has everything to pick up this game. I see it will be coming into the picture again. I see them picking up points again. I see their signings actually doing well against Wolves. Will Wolves ride on that confidence against Chelsea? That's another thing, because this time around they're going away from home. So I see Fulham picking up points against Wolves. So my prediction for that game, I have 2 predictions. A draw, but I think Fulham has everything to win that game. So my prediction is Fulham 1, Wolves 0. Now to the next game, Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. Nottingham Forest having a new coach. Everybody thinks the tide was going to change immediately. Things are going to change quickly. But football is not like that. Their last match, they lost 2-0 at Bournemouth after picking up a 2-0 victory in the Champions League against Porto. So after that first win, they lost. Now, this is against Manchester United. Everybody believes, Nottingham Forest should do something. But let's not forget, Manchester United are on a very good vein of form. In fact, Amorim is on this month's coach of the month, nominee, coach of the month, which is a good one. They picked up victory against Sunderland. They went away to Liverpool. They picked up victory. They won against Brighton at home. So that's 3 victories back to back for the first time under this new coach, which is a very good one. Now, they're playing Nottingham Forest, who lost their last home game against Chelsea at home 3-0. That was where they sacked Postecoglou. Now, if we look at this game, out of the last 5, Nottingham Forest have won 3 and Manchester United have won 2. I don't think there's going to be a draw in this game. I don't think so. In fact, Nottingham Forest have been on a very bad form. Out of the last 5 games, they've lost 4, won 1. While Manchester United have lost 1 and won 4. Alright, so Manchester United are in a very, very good vein of form. I see Mbeumo coming into this game, doing well. Cunha, bragging on that confidence against Liverpool and Brighton, doing something. Fernandes, doing something in this game, picking up an assist. I see picking up an assist in this game. Definitely it's going to be an over 1.5 in this match. Nottingham Forest has not been in the best run of form at home. In the last 3 games at home, they've lost all 3. All 3 at home. It was only the first game under Nuno Espirito Santo in which they won their first match against Brentford. Now, for Manchester United, it has not been the best of form away from home, except the last match against Liverpool. After the draw against Fulham, they went ahead to lose against Manchester City and Brentford. I stand over 1.5 in this game. Something tells me it's going to be a 1-1 draw. But because of the form of Manchester United, who sits sixth on the log, playing against Nottingham Forest, who sits 18th on the log, I think Manchester United will pick up another away victory here. It's going to be tough. Something tells me 1-1. It's going to be tough. But I think it's going to be Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester United 2 over 1.5. Now to the next game, which is the biggest one for the weekend. Tottenham Hotspur against Chelsea. Now for Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea, form goes out of the window when it comes to these two teams. These two teams hate each other. In fact, rivals. The last game, it was a baptism, or how would I put it, of goals in the last game. 7 goals in that match. Remember when Cucurella slipped twice, Chelsea conceded. They've been goals in these games. Always over 1.5 in the last 3 games. Over 2.5, over 3.5 in the last 2 games. So there are going to be goals in this match. Chelsea defense is a problem. It's a big problem. But when it comes to this Tottenham game, I expect them to step up. I expect Archipong to start. I expect Chaloba as well to start as well. But Chelsea defense are in total shambles currently. But I expect them to step up against Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur lost their last game at home against Wolves, against Aston Villa. Why they drew their previous game at home against Wolves, if you could remember very well. Now, when it comes to form, Chelsea are in a better form. Forget the fact that Chelsea lost their last game against Sunderland. Chelsea are in a better vein of form against, currently. Win 4, draw a lost 1. While Tottenham Hotspur, who has been losing game and dropping points both in the Champions League and also, the last game at home against Aston Villa, went away surprisingly to beat Everton at home 3-0. Will I judge them with that game only? No. Because Tottenham Forest are a very inconsistent team, and which we've seen already this season. I see another over 2.5 in this game. If we should go by the form, Chelsea is going to draw. If we go by the form. But if we should go by the head-to-head, in the last 5 games, Chelsea have won 4, Tottenham has won 1. If we go by the head-to-head, if Tottenham Hotspur does not keep a back 5, because even if they keep a back 5, Thomas Frank is not that coach that would defend from first minute to 90 minutes with this Tottenham Hotspur side. So my prediction for this game, if something tells me, my head tells me 2-2. But let's go with my heart today. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Chelsea 2. Yeah. Now to the next game, Liverpool against Aston Villa. Liverpool has been in a very bad run of form in the last couple of games. Bad run of form, losing back to back in the Premier League. Loss against Palace, loss against Chelsea, loss against Manchester United, loss against Brentford, loss against Crystal Palace in the EFL Cup. Bad run of form, poor run of form. It is a problem currently right now for Arne Slot. Fans are calling him to be sacked, but I don't think he should be sacked right now. Now, with that run of form, Aston Villa has had the opposite. For Liverpool, they've won 1, which was in the Champions League in their last 5. While for Aston Villa, they've won 4 and they've lost 1, which was against, I can't remember the team, but they lost 1. So, now, let's take a look at this. At home, Liverpool has only lost 1, which was against Manchester United in their last match. They beat Bournemouth, they beat Everton, they beat Arsenal before the bad run of form started. Now, what for Aston Villa? They've only lost 1 game away from home this season, which was the very first game against Brentford. Liverpool rested all their players in their last game against Crystal Palace. Is that a sign to re-energize the team? Will Salah step up? Will Ekitike step up? With Isak step up? With these guys step up? Yes, I think they will. Something tells me it's going to be a 2-2 draw. Over 2.5 sure. 2-2 draw. Something tells me. Something also tells me it's going to be a 2-1 victory for Liverpool. But I'll play safe. My prediction for this game is Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 2. 2-2. 2-2 draw. Now to the next game, West Ham against Newcastle. West Ham against Newcastle. West Ham, poor team. Sits, I think, 19th on the log. Very, very poor team. Just few points above Wolves. While for Newcastle, they've been doing well in the last couple of games. Out of this, the head-to-head between these two sides, 3 wins for Newcastle, which is a good one. 1 draw and 1 win for West Ham. Nuno has not gotten it right yet. The players have been underperforming. They've been under par. They've not been doing well this season for West Ham. It's been poor. They've been losing games. In fact, they've lost all their home games this season. Now, for Newcastle, they've kept 3 clean sheets away from home this season. 3 clean sheets. They only lost their last game to Brighton away from home. And remember the last game they won at home to Fulham. So my prediction is going to be Votimada is in a very good run of vein of form here. I see Newcastle winning. They are going to keep a clean sheet against West Ham. So my prediction is West Ham 0, Newcastle 1. Newcastle have not won away from home, but they've kept 3 clean sheets. I think this is the one they're going to win. They are going to win away from home. Because no team they've played away from home that is as poor as West Ham. So it's going to be a Newcastle win, 0-1. Newcastle is going to win. Now, for Manchester City against Bournemouth. Manchester City, they are a wounded lion. They lost their last game against Aston Villa away from home. While for Bournemouth, surprisingly, they sit second on the log. Fantastic team they've had this season. After selling their players, a lot of people thought they were going to be very bad this season. But kudos to Iriola, which is their coach, who has been very, very good and brilliant this season. Now, for the head-to-head between these two teams, Manchester City have flawed. Won 4 and lost 1. No draw between these two sides. High-scoring games. Always high-scoring games in the last 4. 3-1 Man City, 6-1 Man City, 4-1 Man City, 2-1 Man City. Man City sits 5th on the log, while Bournemouth sits 2nd on the log. So Bournemouth is in a very good vein of form. Bournemouth, let's not forget, they've defeated Tottenham Hotspur this season. Yes, and they've done well this season. Now, let's start with Manchester City. At home, only lost 1. After the first game, in which they got shocked by Tottenham Hotspur, they've beaten Manchester United, they've beaten Wolves, Everton rather, they've beaten Burnley, and they've beaten Manchester United. While for Bournemouth, away wins, 1 away win in their last 4. Apart from the Liverpool game in which they lost, they've drawn 2 back-to-back games away from home. That was with Leeds and with Crystal Palace. Very, very close game. My prediction is I'm seeing a draw, but I don't think so. I'm seeing a draw, but I don't think so. Manchester City 1, Bournemouth 0. Now to the La Liga game quickly. Real Madrid against Valencia. Real Madrid pick up a flawless victory against it's a 2-1 victory rather against Barcelona, but it's been 5 flawless victories, 5 game back to back wins in all competition. While for Valencia, they've lost 3, 1 draw, 1 win in the last 5 games. But if you check, Valencia has been giving Real Madrid tough time. 2 wins in their last 5, 1 draw. While for Real Madrid, the same 2 wins as well. But I think Real Madrid will pick up this one. My prediction is the last time Valencia went away to a big side, a very big side, that's the top two. You know what I mean? They lost 6-0 against Barcelona. So my prediction is Real Madrid 3, Valencia 1. Now to the next game, Barcelona against Elche. Barcelona against Elche. They are a wounded lion. They lost their last game against Real Madrid in the El Clasico. But they've not really been in the good vein of out of their last 5 matches in all competition, they've lost 3, which is bad. They sit 7 points, 7 points or 5 points behind Real Madrid. So for this Elche side, right, they're a very poor team away from home against this Barcelona side. Barcelona have won all their last 5 against Elche, keeping 3 clean sheets in the process. But with the way this Barcelona defense have been, I want to say 3-0. But Barcelona 3, my prediction, Barcelona 3, Elche 1. Let me know what you think concerning this game. Share your thoughts in the comment section. That'll be my prediction for today. Remember, betting is not my predictions, or predictions rather. Despite the fact that I get my predictions right most of the time, predictions are not always 100% correct, and betting rather is not always 100% good. Bet responsibly, bet wisely. Follow my predictions. Feel free to edit. I give you free, easy. Check out with the goals as well. We're predicting. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Share your own predictions as well in the comment section. Until I come away again next time. I remain your boy Mikeway. Stay cool. Cheers.